All right, welcome. Very excited to introduce Brynne Tillman today, CEO of Social Sales Link, based in Philadelphia, USA. Brynne's a successful sales professional, sales trainer, and coach, spanning over 3 decades, and has really unlocked the power of LinkedIn for professionals. So we're very lucky to have her here with us today to talk through LinkedIn for the legal profession. So welcome, Brynne.
Thank you so much for having me.
Great. So Brynne, what I'd really like to do is to talk through in a little more detail. I think one of the main questions that everyone wants to know is how can I maximize my LinkedIn profile? What are the key do's and don'ts? Basically, what are the essentials for LinkedIn for the legal profession and for professionals in general? And I'd love to hear more about it from you.
Well, the LinkedIn profile is vital. Even if you don't use LinkedIn as a business development tool, 9 out of 10 people that you meet and hand a business card to are going to look you up on LinkedIn before they even get to your website. So making sure that your LinkedIn profile is attracting and engaging the right people and telling the right story is really vital. I look at, when you get to your LinkedIn profile, what you see immediately, I call that above the fold. I don't know if you guys have that phrase there, but on newspapers, what's above the fold when it's in the newsstand is what attracts you to want to open the newspaper. So the above the fold, its responsibility is really to get people to want to read your profile, not just show up and connect with you.
Right.
Right? So what's above the fold? Typically, it's your banner or background. And that's something that's, in the last year LinkedIn has rolled out, but it gives you an incredible branding opportunity. So if you have a look to your firm, if you have a logo, definitely include that into your banner. But you also want to have your phone number, your email, and or your website, because the goal of the LinkedIn profile, if you're using this to grow your business, is to get more phone calls with the right people. So we want to make it as easy as possible for them to connect with us. So the banner's the first piece. The second one is your profile picture. And I don't care how much you love your dog or your car or the wedding cutout with your significant other's hand on your shoulder, right? Those are Facebook pictures. This needs to be a professional photo, and you've got to make sure that you're making eye contact. I know that sounds a little goofy, but people connect with people that make eye contact. So you want to make sure that your photo is doing that. So when someone looks at that photo, they feel like they're looking at you. The third piece is the headline. And most people by default have their title or firm's name in the headline. But most people aren't going to hire you as an attorney because it says that you're an attorney at ABC firm. They're not like, ooh, that's such an exciting thing and I should call him right now. What you really want to do is talk about the specific law that you cover and how you help your clients. Now you need to be really careful that you are, falling within the, regulations of when you have a headline like this, that you're not promising something that you shouldn't be. So follow whatever regulation you have to follow as an attorney. But what ultimately you need to do is make sure that headline gets your reader to want to read more, right? That's really important. Now, when they read more, what are they getting? Well, typically the first place they'll go is the summary. So if you start with, I have 17 years of legal experience, they're going to start to yawn, right? No. You can put your experience down in experience where I think that belongs. And if they really care about your, all everything you've done prior, they can find that. We don't need to duplicate that in the summary. I believe the summary should be broken up into 3 parts. Number 1, be a resource. So bring value to your reader. If you are a divorce attorney, talk about the first 3 things that someone should do before they file. If you are a mergers and acquisition attorney, talk about the 3 things they should look at to best evaluate or value the valuation, excuse me, and not in that world, but the valuation of a company, right? So tell them, what do you do? What are the 3 things you should look at when to best put a value on your
So when the LinkedIn visitor is coming to your profile, they're already getting a certain level of insight into who you are, what area you practice, and what value you can offer them.
Yeah, and can you imagine if your reader gets value from you immediately, the connection and the level of where you fall on their radar it's amazing. Once you've earned the right to tell them what you do, now just in one brief paragraph, talk about how you help your clients. Very quickly, so they know exactly that I am an attorney that does this, 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 and this. Then you close, and yes, you close for the sale. And the close on LinkedIn is let's have a conversation. That's all you're closing for. So if you relate to any of these insights or if you have any questions around them, and I invite you to have a phone call. Whether or not we decide to work together, I'm pretty confident our call will be filled with even more insights that can help you down your journey.
Right. So effectively, you're taking the visitor from a LinkedIn platform to the next platform, which would potentially be a telephone call.
And that is your goal, right? At every level, I don't know anyone that hired an attorney without a conversation. In general, so the services world is still a relationship world, and you have to start with a conversation.
Definitely. So in the summary, we're talking about the 3 essentials. We've got number 1, be a resource, and number 2 was to
let them know how you deliver your services.
Sure.
Just quickly, they need to know what you do.
And then number 3, obviously, is let's have a conversation.
Yep.
So having said that, Brynne, I think a lot of people have LinkedIn profiles. They're very proud of their content on their profiles, their experience, their qualifications, and obviously they have their profile photos. I think many people out there in the profession would be having these core ingredients. What else should they be looking for outside of these core ingredients that we've talked about?
That's a great question. One of my favorite sections that I love to use with attorneys is the project section. And I use this as an area to put up case studies. So assuming that you can legally talk about a case study, you have written permission from your client, this is a phenomenal opportunity to talk about the successes that you've had. And I like to break the case studies up into 5 sections. So the first one, even if you don't mention the client's name, talk about who that client is by industry or by geographic region or however you'd identify that client. The second one is to add triggers. The trigger or the driver of why they came to you. What happened in their world that made them give you a call? The third one is the challenge, why they need you. Whether it's they used another attorney and they didn't do what they were supposed to do, or it was a legal matter and they couldn't do it on their own. What was the challenge they were facing that they had to call you? So the trigger is what was happening in the environment, and the challenge was why you? Why did they get to you? Then your solution, right? So what did you do for them, and the result? So those 5 elements inside of the case study really resonate with prospective clients. Now, one of the things that I highly recommend is you don't want to just put your most successful cases. You want to talk about the cases that you want more of. So the point of this is to attract the kind of client that you want and get them to resonate with you. So if you had a huge client that, was a once-in-a-lifetime client, and the chances of you getting another one like that, but you want to brag about it because it was one of your best deals, may not